Okay, in this movie we're just going to output the report based on the preflight that we've set. However, in saying that, if I just go OK for the moment here, and we'll notice there was no errors in this particular file. All I need to do is simply go up here and I can basically go down and save a report. It'll save a PDF file. So I'll just save that, and I'm going to save it into my folder where I've got all the objects stored at the moment. And Preflight report, can name it anything you want, just leave it as that, and I'll just go through and save. So I just bring that into view here. Here's my PDF report, and basically there's just no errors. Anything that's an error will come up there and it'll tell you what it is, but in this case no problems, so that's a good thing to know. But just remember, again, it's what you set into it which will be an error or not, and those errors are dependent on the questions that you ask it or the output that you want. They're not necessarily going to be a problem with the file. I'm just going to close my Acrobat file for the time being and just bring that document back in there and just close this. Now, another way of doing the pre-flight, or in fact putting the whole document together, and in a safe way, a convenient way of working. You probably noticed at times when you're working you do lose your links. There may even be a font problem that you quite can't work out exactly what's wrong, etc. And sometimes it's just not your fault. A good way of actually controlling, especially font issues at times, you can either convert a font to an outline, or you can actually build it into a document where everything is sourced from that one document. Particularly if you're doing a job and you're handing it on as an original InDesign file. This is where you package everything up. So let's just go and have a look at this. Just under InDesign, and just next to that, if I just scroll down here, I'm going to see this thing called Package. There's another tutorial on printing the booklet, quite different. This is where you paginate all your document, or in position. This one where we put it together in one document. Let's just have a look and see what this does. What I'm going to do is I can just go through here and have a look at fonts, what's happening, the fonts I'm using. So it's sort of giving me a little bit of a report on the fly, what's involved in the links and what the file is. One link found, 0 modified. Image, it uses RG space, and it's a bit concerned about that because basically is that what you want for a print-based document, but that's fine in this case. This is where you can also do a report, a little bit like what we did before essentially, and this is where we package it up. But I'm just going to have a look at the color and links again, where it's showing the colors and the percentage here. Lots of things that we don't need to know every bit of detail, but we've certainly got it in here within our report. It takes you through a whole lot of things. Okay, and external plugins. This is where you can actually have special plugins that enable you to do things that don't come with a standard InDesign file, where you can plonk into the file here, which will add extra functionality, and you can buy those separately. Could be specialty tools for doing trapping or pagination or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to go and package now. So I'll click on package. Package must be saved before, or publication must be saved. So I haven't saved as yet, so here's a good chance to save it. So I'll just go save. This is where you can give particular instructions. So give your name, contact. It's like working with all the information that can go with the job as well, which can certainly help. Some information. A little bit like job description format, JDF, when we're working with output to PDF as well. But I'm just going to leave it as is for the time being and just go continue. Now I'm saving this to my folder where I had all my files stored, including where I've got my other PDFs saved there as well. And DPS art folder, that sounds great. You can name it anything you want. Basically you can click on here and you can just get a second chance to add some extra instructions in here. I'll just go cancel for the time being. But essentially, I'm just going to go package now. Now this first warning box that comes up is not really a warning as a problem. It's just basically talking about things like fonts, are they licensed for use, because you're allowed to put all your fonts in there in order to give it to the print house who are going to put it together and assemble the work, where they obviously need the original fonts, particularly if they're not outlined, and you wouldn't want to do that with a large document. So you need to supply the fonts, and that's okay to do. So I'm just going to go OK. Here it is. It's gone through and building the folder. So if I just, in fact, I'm just going to close this document now. Just close it again. You'll notice that here's a folder that's been built, and inside this folder is my actual InDesign file. It's rebuilt it, if you will. It's got document fonts. This is all the fonts that have been used in the file. It's the instructions, whatever I've added to that, which is not a lot in this case, which is good to put in there, but any extra instructions that you might want to give to the printer. And of course my links, in this case just one image. So what it's done is, no matter how spread out your file was, it's assembled everything for you into one folder. So a very good feature to work with.